Okay, we're back, and I'm going to show you a little thing about water that you can do. We talked a lot about water in our class, but let's talk a little more. I want you to know that in the whole world, in the whole earth, there will never be more water. It is always going to stay the same. Let's pretend you have a bathtub at home filled with water, and that's all the water you will ever be able to fill the bathtub with. So what are we going to do? Well, first we have to keep it clean so it really stays as long as it can for some good water. So that's what we learn to do, is only recycle the water that, and try to recycle all the water we can and save and clean it up afterwards if it gets dirty, which we can do. Secondly, sometimes it goes up in the air and then falls down, and then it comes back up in the air, and then it's so cold that it falls down as little white snowflakes or hail or ice. So I want you to make ice at home, and I want to show you that water is always the same. It never gets more or less if you freeze it, or you let it escape as gas, or you just let it run. On the earth, it will always be the same amount. So I want you to take a cup. It could be a paper cup, that would be easy, or you could do a plastic cup. I want you just to fill it with water. Here's my water. Here's my water. I'm filling it up. Now all that liquid, which we learned, has three properties. It's got three things. It's clear, it's not sticky, it's a liquid that's very clear, you can see it. Two, it's not thick, it's very thin, it moves around a lot when it's water. And then the third one is, it's warm or cold. Right now it's regular, but when you put it in the freezer, it gets very cold. So water can change from warm to cold by putting it in the freezer, right? So we're going to put this water in the freezer and let it stay. And at the end of your day, you will see that the same amount of water that you put into your cup, when you put it in the cup, it stays the same even when you freeze it. So then you can put it in a measuring cup and see whether it freezes and it melts and it's the same amount all by yourself. You can measure it. Remember, we used a ruler. You could use a ruler, but in this case, a measuring cup is probably the easiest thing. And then you can tell me what happened to the water when it turned to ice. So I'm going to take this later on, and I'm going to put it in my freezer right after we finish. And I'm going to freeze it, and I'm going to make an ice cube. And what's a cube, by the way? Remember we did our shapes? A cube is a square, but it's lots of squares put together. One square, one square, one square. I'm looking for my book. I will read you the book in a minute about a cube. Are you ready? Okay, so put your ice cube, water to be ice cube, in the freezer. And we will see what size it is when you measure it. Is it big or small? Is it the same size as when you put it in the cup? It might be a little bigger. The cup might get a little bigger because ice is made out of triangles. And the triangles are called tetrahedral triangles. Can you say that? Tetrahedral. And those have a little extra space in them for air. There we go. There's our air again. And air makes the water, frozen water, get a little bigger than when it's just water. But then it goes down again, and it turns out to be the same amount of water when the air goes out. So the water doesn't change, but the air goes in and out. When you freeze it, it gets bigger, just a little bit. And that is why ice floats, because the air keeps it a little bit bigger, but not heavier. And water is heavy because it stays the same. Heavy, heavy, no air in it, and it sinks, and it's heavy if you put it in air. But if you put air in ice, it will float. And let's do our song. Ready? Get your fingers. We're going to sing 3 words. We're going to sing precipitation, condensation, evaporation. That's how the water goes around. So first it rains. That's precipitation. Here we go. Precipitation. That's liquid. That's water. And then we're going to say evaporation. That's the gas. That's air. Evaporation. And now we're going to make a cloud. Ready? Condensation. That's when the water turns into water drops and makes a cloud. That's how the water goes around. That's how the water goes around. Here we go. Precipitation, evaporation, condensation. That's how the water goes around. Again. Precipitation, evaporation. That's the gas. Precipitation is the rain. Precipitation, that's the liquid. Evaporation, that's the gas. Condensation, that's the cloud, that's the vapor. That's how the water goes round. All right, everybody, I'm going to say bye-bye today. It was so much fun to teach you. I hope you had fun. We're going to sing our goodbye song. Are you ready? Here we go. Will you sing it with me? Now it's time to say goodbye. If you are sad, it's okay to cry. Let's sing everybody's names, and then we'll sing more songs and games. Bye to the children, bye to the grown-ups. Hope you're having a very nice day. My teacher Hyatt, it rhymes with papaya. And I'll see you all next time. Ready? Stick your tongue out, tap your knees, tap your feet, whatever you want to do. Ba 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 ba. Here's your tongue, stick it out at me. I give you permission this time. La 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 la. La 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 la. Now I'm going to suggest one thing to the grown-ups. You can tell your mom and dad or who's ever at home. Ready? You can say, I would like to learn how to make a bed today because we're going to be home and be able to have time to learn how to make a bed really well. And we need to make nice corners. And when we do our shapes book next time, we're going to talk about lines and corners. So I want you to learn how to make your bed. There's something called military corners. That's how they make them in the army. And they make it very tight so you get all tight and cozy in your bed. So if your grown-up can show you how to make very tight corners on the edge of the bed and all work together, I'm suggesting that that might be a fun thing to do. Are you ready? All right, say bye-bye with me. Is your tongue round or pointy? Check it out. Good job, everybody. Blow you a kiss. I love you, and I hope you're having a good day. And I send lots of smiles. Bye-bye.